What is up, fellow Star Wars fans? We've got some Episode 9 news for you, actually, today. And apparently in an episode of BBC Newsnight that aired last night, they did a piece about CGI characters in movies and bringing back people from the dead or younging them up and stuff like that. And they had a nice sizable chunk on Star Wars Rogue One, and they revealed in that little section that Disney and Lucasfilm have been in talks with the estate of Carrie Fisher since her death about her continued presence in the Star Wars franchise. They go on to say, and I quote, "And if what might be regarded as unseemly haste, Disney is negotiating with the actor's estate," the actor being Carrie Fisher, "over her continued appearance in the franchise. If Disney gets the go-ahead, Carrie Fisher will join Peter Cushing in reprising the roles post-death." So, I personally don't have a problem with this, as long as the estate, the family, doesn't have a problem with this as well. I think it's really up to them. They would know best what that person would want to do, and I think, coming at it from a perspective, if you have children and you're providing for your family and you care about your family, if your family can earn money off of you post your death, I mean, I don't really see the downside, coming at it from that perspective. If you can provide for your family after your death, that's great. That's an amazing thing, actually. I think you can do. On the flip side, I think they really have to be careful about how they use her. I don't think they should be using her like they use Yoda in Episode 2 and have her jumping and flipping around. All of a sudden she's got amazing Jedi powers and stuff like that. But I know people were really kind of disappointed that they didn't explore Luke, teaching her the ways of the Jedi that they did in Legends, because I know in Legends she learned how to use the lightsaber and to use the Force, and I think they're kind of altering her power in this new canon. I think they're basically using it as clairvoyance and maybe as a way of seeing into the future and getting some insight. I think that's the length of her Force powers, or they haven't really explained. It could be that she's not as strong in the Force as Luke, which kind of doesn't really make sense, because they both have the same parents. They're both the children of Anakin Skywalker / Darth Vader. You would think that they would be on the same power level, but I mean, this is all fiction, so who knows what they're going to come up with. But getting back to the bringing her back, I think if she had such a huge role in Episode 9 and Colin Trevorrow, I mean, he couldn't do a huge rewrite over it, because they were really kind of banking on her being in the movie. I think it's a good way to do it, but it's just, if by that time, I believe Episode 9 comes out in 2019, so maybe they kind of move the technology ahead, way further, so that maybe there's a new way of doing it where it seems a lot more seamless. I thought Peter Cushing was the best one in Rogue One. I think he looked the best, except on a few occasions there was this thing with his lower jaw that I don't think looked really natural. Although when I watched a video about how they did it, they actually brought up the fact that he moved his jaw a certain way, and his lower jaw and his lip would move a certain way. So maybe it was just the way the Peter Cushing did it. I watched New Hope after that, and he kind of did it a little bit, but I think maybe they just over-exaggerated it. But also, I think, the Carrie Fisher they used, the younger Carrie Fisher, that was the most jarring to me, because that one didn't look as natural. She looked great until she started moving her mouth. Then it looked really weird. That one didn't look right to me. But I think, maybe if they can just focus on her, if she's the only one where they need to have it like that, and then maybe if they can find a way to cut her scenes down somehow, I don't know. I mean, I guess it's up to the creators. I mean, but I think in whatever capacity they use her likeness, I personally don't think it's too soon. Like I said, I think it's completely up to her estate, and her family would know the best. So I think whatever the family decides, I think people should kind of respect that. I don't think everyone should be getting all up in arms about it, mainly because, like, if the family decides that this is what Carrie Fisher would have wanted, I think, the license is with them, and I think that, as fans, we should respect what Carrie Fisher would have wanted. And I think if she wanted to continue being in the movies, We should, it should be great, and we should let her do it. However, you could be essentially opening up Pandora's box here. I don't know, like I don't, where this could potentially go. I think, was a little crazy. Like people kind of, go over and beyond about like speculating about like they're not going to need actors anymore, and all this kind of stuff. And I don't think it'll ever get that crazy. We're to the point where like we don't need actors. That's kind of ridiculous. But I think if bringing back actors that are deceased and younging it up, as long as it's done respectfully and within reason, I think it's a great idea. But anyway, I want to hear what you guys think, and I really want to know what you guys think about this use of Leia, actually, because I think it's interesting to get other people's perspective on this. I know I might be in a minority because I don't have a problem with it, but because it's in the family's hands. So, but anyway, let me know what you guys think. I mean, if you think it's crazy, if you think it's creepy, if you think it's weird, just let me know, and give a like to the video if you like it, and maybe subscribe if you feel like. Alright guys, take it easy, have a good day.
Let's show them what the rebellion can do! Still standing, fortunately for you.